Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Never Open Podcast, the podcast open to everyone, especially Mr. House. My name is Luke. I'm your host of the Never Open Podcast. With me, as always, is Mr. Andy. Say hello, Mr. Guy.
I like Eddie House too, but like only when he played for the Celtics. When he played for the Heat, I was not a fan because
I said Mr. House.
Well, yeah, his name's Mr. Eddie House, and he was a point guard in the National Basketball Association.
All right. I feel like I'm in the beginnings of an Abbott and Costello sketch or some shit here. So
I don't think he could hack it on the Dolphins though. The Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. I don't think so.
Oh no. No, few people could.
Right. I mean, we couldn't. We can only hack it as fans, and even then, I feel like we're not doing enough. So.
No, I reckon Doki will catch the odd game with people that aren't from the Dolphins, just to scout for the Dolphins. Like, hey, you aware of this guy? Yeah.
He was like trying to. He got into Just Five Guys with Taka just to try to get Ren Ayabi, super tall dude, like maybe get in for the Dolphins, But Ren Ayabi, he just decided, he wanted to wrestle, and now he's in the Champions Carnival. Ooh, could be playing for the Dolphins.
Just saying. That dude wouldn't even have to jump to dunk. He is super tall, isn't he? Like, a super tall dude, Ren Ayabi. Awesome. Yeah, it's a super tall dickhead, thanks to Zach Sabre.
Andre the Dickhead, yeah.
Andre the Dickhead, he called him, yeah. Right. But we call him super tall dude.
It's really funny. So
we don't call him anything for short. It has to be super tall dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, or Andre the Dickhead, or
that's right.
STD.
That is right. This is Never Realm 29, so we're going to talk a bit about wrestling, not too much, and then we're just going to catch up and talk about shit that we're grooving on lately. That's how it goes.
If you don't know yet, 28 other times we have talked about whatever we wanted, and sometimes we talk about wrestling. I don't want to, but maybe we gotta. I want to talk about like one thing in wrestling that's awesome, but other than that, I don't really care about.
All right. Well, I got a bit of wrestling news that I'll put right here because I don't know. Yo is out of the Best of the Super Juniors, which kind of sucks. I don't fully rag on him as much as I used to. It's like 60-40, right? That's all right, maybe 70-30. But
well, he was just kind of like getting a new thing.
Yeah, he was starting to get into some kind of groove, and I was picking up on that too. So yeah,
which is shocking because normally if Sho and Yo are even in the same building, you're very upset. But
yeah, I'm like,
you were looking forward to them wrestling.
I was really looking forward to that match. It got to the point, everyone, where I was just like, all right, I don't even care if Mr. Guy just talked about the previous match. I didn't do notes on this match because I'm sick of Chaos versus House of Torture. And I was getting more of that lately. And I don't know. That's House of Torture. They always find a new way to keep things interesting.
That's
and
true.
Not get you bored and stuff. So I don't know. They're great.
They're going to have the title in their faction soon. So, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the other title. The one that we don't care that much about, the heavyweight championship.
Oh, yeah. Then you think Ren Narita's going to beat him?
Absolutely. That would be awesome, man. Because then the feud between Shota Umino and Ren Narita for the title, oh, man, that would be fantastic.
For Dominion? Yeah, that'll put a lot of butts in seats in Japan, for sure. I mean, it's old Moxley. Moxley might get a few more subscriptions, though, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm happy either way, but that's the extent of my New Japan talk. Paul Show, get well.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff announced, like matches and whatnot, and there is other news. If you'd like to know about that news, I urge you to go to njpw1972.com, and they will tell you all the stuff that we would tell you if we cared to look. So.
That's right. It is Never Realm. We might mention some of this in the next episode anyway. So, we're now when we want to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I do believe, Mr. Guy, you want to talk a little bit of All Japan Pro Wrestling. What?
Yeah. Well, we talked about it a while ago, but so there's this guy I know. His name's Lord Crew. He's been wrestling in my area a long time. He came up in my area, and I mean, I've known him quite a while. I guess like almost 7 years now, about 7 years, which is a long time in wrestling years. Think about that. Wrestling years, like 1 year in wrestling is like 10 years in regular life. So
it's faster than dog years, I reckon.
It is. It's like, yes. But so we talked about earlier that he was announced for the Champions Carnival, which is the kind of like G1 of, All Japan. And he had his first match this morning, and I watched it. And he won. And he didn't just win, he squashed his opponent. He beat his opponent in under 5 minutes. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it, man. I was so happy. Listen, like Lord Crew is one of those guys that in wrestling, if you ask anyone in this area about him, you go, oh man, I love that guy, right? And they're not talking about his work. They're talking about him, right? That's one thing that's awesome about it. And he's a tremendous wrestler. And he's always excelled at the kind of like strong style type style. That's what he's always been good at. And every once in a while on the indies in Ohio or Kentucky, he'd get a guy that could do that kind of thing. And you'd see what potential he has, in that kind of arena of wrestling. And the fact that he's there now, I was delighted. I woke up this morning and I'm like, hopefully I didn't sleep through his match. I turn it on. The match before his is ending. And then Lord Crew walks out and I'm like, oh my God. And it was a Kurgan Hall. Lord Crew is a Kurgan Hall. I wish I was there so much. I mean, like that dude deserves it so much. Universally loved, universally someone that other people want to wrestle because the guy's tremendous and he did great. He won. Like, here's a little like inside shit for you, right? So he normally uses either this like cyclone kick or he does we used to call it the orange phantom. What's the orange crush? He used the orange crush for for his finisher, but you can't do that in All Japan, right? So he can't use the orange crush. It's one of the 4 pillars. It's like their finishing move, so you can't do that.
No.
So he switched it up and he used the catatonic as his finishing move, which is Wildcat Chris Harris's finisher. And Wildcat Chris Harris is from here, and they were a tag team for a very, very long time when Lord Crew was coming up. And Chris Harris has done a lot for Lord Crew as far as that goes. And man, what a cool deal.
Insane, dude.
Yes, he's the guy. Like, okay, so here is what he's famous for. Chris Harris is famous for being in WWE and them never doing anything with him. That's probably the thing he's most famous for. But what I know him from, other than knowing him at seeing him shows and like talking to him and stuff, is that he is the one that took the Rana off the top of the cage. He's the one who took that bump. All right. So he's the one who gets Rana off the top of the cage, which is like one of the coolest bumps of all time. Ever. So, and Chris Harris is like one of those guys that's been around the area. I mean, NWF is where, Northern Wrestling Federation is where like him and, Roger Ruffin and a bunch of other guys. That's where Abyss is from there, Carl Anderson, guys like that, that are from my area. So that's Lord Crew came up around those kind of guys, and now he's in Japan doing it. And like, what's so great, today was day 1. It's like a fucking month-long tournament, just like, New Japan. There's going to be tag matches and stuff. And listen, I had a blast watching Lord Crew. I was so happy. But then the semi-main was like one of the big babyface, like established guys in All Japan versus Super Tall Dude.
Oh, that's fucking sweet.
So Super Tall Dude is now dressed like Okada, and he has purple hair. So he's got a whole new thing for All Japan because they signed him. So he's now an official All Japan wrestler. And
no shit. That's fucking awesome.
He won in decisive fashion, but it was a much longer match. It was like 10, 12 minutes, and it was fucking great. So
Did you do that front Nelson thing?
He did not, because he can't job out All Japan like baby faces that are top guys like that.
Yeah.
His finisher was kind of like, it was like, yo, you dealing with the X Factor, but I'm going to spin around kind of while I'm doing it. Pretty cool looking. So I was happy to see him. It was a great morning. That was like, all that happened before 8 a.m. for me today.
So, all right. So by now you have watched well, a fuck ton of New Japan, obviously. You've watched a fair amount of Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah.
And now you've watched some All Japan. How's their presentation? How's it different? How is it kind of similar? I know it's Cork and all. They all play there, so I guess it's a good way to kind of compare.
I think you'd really like it. There's a couple reasons. One, it's just fucking straight up Japanese. It is Japanese as fuck, which is I love that. I love that. You know, I mean, but one of the things that I found very interesting is that Lord Crew comes out to a Gojira song, which is it's a really cool. Gojira is awesome. And it's a tremendous song, and fucking it's like the guy in the match before him comes out to like some Metallica song. Guess what I got to hear on the live feed? Metallica song, Gojira song. They don't give a fuck about copyright, which is pretty cool.
No one's watching All Japan, I guess, compared to maybe the others. I don't like. No offense to them. Do they have English or?
I did not. You know, honestly, there must have been commentary, but I don't even. Like I was floating in the air as I was watching this shit. So I don't even remember. But if you want to find out, you can go to twitter.com/Drusifer tweets and see all of Lord Crew's highlights. And I'm going to try my best to kind of like do that for all his matches and put like little highlight videos up and stuff. I think one of my favorite parts of his match was that he took a lariat from his opponent that he bumped like an absolute maniac. Because Lord Crew is 6'4". Like, he's not short. He's a big dude. He just went, woo! It's great.
I did see the highlight thingy, so I was like, holy shit. All right. So, this guy's a never guy. Legit. Some of those strikes and shit are awesome. I can see why they brought him to Japan.
I mean, it works great. And, like, I just feel like that he's going to do very well. You know, just got to be careful. Don't get injured. Get through this whole thing. I think they do preview tags and stuff too. I'll have more to report next week because their next show is tomorrow, but it's not delivered. They have deliver schedules, what they have on the website, which I love that. I love the just weird words for, you know, stuff like that. But anyway, their delivery schedules, they have 2 shows delivered on the 21st. So I think that's the 20th show or the 19th show or something. And then the 21st show, which is live. So they have like one that's not going to be live that day and the one that is. I'm still trying to figure that part out. I have a feeling that a lot of it I'm going to have to watch after it's already aired.
Is it, correct me if I'm wrong, would it be like all Japan being like, hey, let's chuck A block in this arena over here and let's chuck B block in this arena over here?
They might have done that. I don't know.
That's fucking weird.
In this show, the opening show was A and B block were together. It was at Kurgan Hall. I didn't watch the whole show. Once fucking STD won, I'm like, what else could possibly happen that is going to be something?
Yoshitatsu's not in the fucking tourney, is he?
No.
All right, good.
No. Yoshitatsu, get out of here.
He's fucking. Oh no, Nakajima's in trouble, isn't he? Nakajima wouldn't be in it. Is he still in trouble? Is he in the doghouse?
So Nakajima no longer works for All Japan. In fact, I think he's in trouble with like everyone now, and he's not allowed to work anywhere or something. I don't know, man. You shouldn't run around dressed up like the founder of New Japan and every other promotion. I don't know what he was doing, but
there's also like him being a bit, I don't know, maybe no selling things and just being unprofessional and stuff. You get that unprofessional stank on you. Bye. Like, because no one's going to trust you to work with you. I remember really liking in Lucha Underground, Sexy Star. Do you remember her?
Yeah. Yikes.
Like, not the greatest wrestler of all time, but the character was really cool, and she did enough to make me get behind her and stuff. And then, like,
yeah, tried to break somebody's arm.
Real.
Right. And like, Sexy Star was the benefit of the tremendous booking in Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah.
Like the booking was like so good that like you cared about the mini wrestler. Like the mini wrestler's a top baby face,
Mascarita Sagrada.
It's tremendous, right? So like that show had such good booking that you cared about absolutely everyone. So
and you cared about the guy who could pull out like perfect matches, and you also cared about like the person who could only do a few moves, but their character was kind of awesome.
Yeah,
Oh.
Marty the Moth could do like 3 moves, and I loved him. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. So.
Oh my god, I miss that show. I still
Marty
miss
the
it.
Moth. Yeah, it was so good, man.
Oh, far out. Yeah, I still think about it every once in a while. Maybe it'd be a good thing for a rewatch or something. Here's our
Absolutely. See, you
Lucha
think
Underground
that,
chat.
right? You think, oh, I'll just watch Lucha Underground again. There are like 40 episodes in the first season, and then like 30 in the second season. And it's like, I love it, but Jesus Christ, there's too much of it, you know? Whereas if you go back and watch something like the Clerks cartoon, there's 6 of them. You can knock it out in the afternoons.
Oh, holy fuck. Yeah. But we'll get to that. By the way, for the video people, here's my old little VHS slipcase. It's a little damaged on the sides here.
Uncensored.
It's uncensored, yeah. They don't really like you watch it and it's just like uncensored. What are you going to hear Jay say? Nothing really. No. Includes all new episodes too. So yeah, I remember buying this at a place called Minotaur in Melbourne. A lot of Aussies.
It was in the middle of a maze.
Yeah, so if you're watching the video, there's a cover. Fuck it. Shut up. They've moved a few times. I like move locations like every day.
Can't find them. You know, it's like a maze down there, you know?
But if you couldn't find something and you really wanted to watch it, and they would get shit imported. So like for some reason, I liked Clerks and all that so much at the time that I was willing to pay $60 for this VHS. And to be fair, I watched the shit out of it, and I've still got it. So like, all right, how bad could it be?
$62,006 too. You know what I mean? So that was a lot of money. You know, we used to have this place called Suncoast Theaters, right? And it's in the mall. It's like a little, you know, mall store, and you go in there and they got overpriced movies. Maybe they got 30 movies in the back, and they got like posters, and that's it. That's what they got. You go look at like Top Gun, and it's fucking $40, and you're like, what the fuck? But I remember one time, one of my best friends growing up, he calls. We used to talk on the phone all the time, you know, and he'd say, "Hey, man," he's like, "I saw Dances with Wolves at Suncoast. It was still in the theater, and that movie was huge. Listen, that movie was huge, right?
It won like a billion Academy Awards. Like,
I mean,
for Kevin
you
Costner,
could not
like,
talk to someone who didn't like it. There's no one walking around going, "Wow, that movie didn't like it." You know, not one person, right? So he says that they got Dances with Wolves, and I'm like, motherfucker, it's still in the theater. There's no way. He said it's $100, and I was like, you're full of shit. Well, we got dropped off at the mall, and we walked right past the arcade, right? Because I wanted to see this bullshit
video games today,
right? We walked right past the arcade. You know, maybe they just came out with Mortal Kombat. We didn't care. We walked right past it. We went to the Suncoast Theater. They had it on VHS. All right, the official VHS for $100 while it was still in the fucking theater, and they had that. I don't know how. I think they made it themselves, but either way, it was amazing, and like I couldn't believe it. And my friend was right, and I was wrong.
All right, did you buy it?
No.
All right,
we taped it on TV, like on HBO, like 6 months later.
Would have been cheaper just to go to the movies.
Right, yeah, we go to the movies like 10 times, you know, like you could go to the movies like 20 times back then for that much. So
yeah, right. Oh my goodness. So yes, there's that cartoon, but I wanted to talk about fucking Mr. Guy the last couple weeks. Hadn't shut up about the traders. I don't like reality TV that much either.
Me either. Don't like it.
But now I've watched I've watched 5 seasons of the fucking thing, and
okay, maybe we like it. Maybe we like it.
And I think I remember saying to you something like, "This will be like the time Charity said no to the Mission Impossible movies. She'll walk in halfway through one of them, and she did the first one, and then she'll just sit there, and then she'll want to keep going with the others." So yeah, that's what eventually happened. So I can't watch this show by myself anymore, which is fine because it's easy to get people in the house to go, Traders time? Yeah, Traders time.
What is the Traders, Luke? Why is it awesome? Because that's the thing is it's like it's a reality show, but why is it awesome?
It's like a murder mystery / the Salem witch hunts as a reality game show. You got like it's usually about 20 or maybe 22 people in this game, and everyone is on your side, and they're faithfuls, except for like 3 motherfuckers who are traitors. And every night they're gonna off one of you faithfuls. And what are the faithfuls got to do? Well, they've got to
dumb shit.
Yeah, dumb shit. Pretty much, they've got to figure out who the traitors are, and the way they do that is lots of conversations and shit. Of course, they play game challenges where they could win money. But Charity and I became like Mr. Andy, and we were like, "Do you care about the games that much?" No, I just want to see them bitch at each other. Yeah, me too. So we'd skip them.
They're cool challenges.
They're cool, but
teamwork, but I don't give a fuck about that. All I want's the drama.
And eventually, if you watch like the ones from all the different countries, they're doing the same games, and I'm just like, yeah. So you kind of you get it, but you just want to see different people just bitch and snipe at each other. So what you get is the way the faithfuls can get rid of these traitors is they have a round table meeting where they just talk at each other, and it's called banishment. Then they all write a name on a cute little chalkboard and they turn it around, and it's so adorable. And whoever's got the most votes, you get the fuck out, So what?
But before they leave, they have to tell everybody
if they're a faithful or traitor,
or are you a faithful, which is one of the best parts of the show. Because if they're a faithful, everybody's like, oh no, if they're a traitor, everyone's like, oh my god, and they're high-fiving each other like they just won the grand fucking final.
Oh yeah. It's not just the grand final. It's like they won like the best of 7 NBA series or something like that. Not just one game. It's like they won the whole series.
We call it the best of 7. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in the first game, they have to play a regular basketball game. In the second game, it's a lemon eating contest.
Oh, dude, you sent me that about the King of Pro Wrestling, Yu Uemura versus Great-O-Khan match. So he wants another rural revitalization match, Mr. Great-O-Khan, and one of them involves lemon eating.
He cares about his denizens,
That's right. He wants his denizens involved. They grow good lemons in this area. We're eating them.
I love it. That's great.
Fucking hell. But yes, so I was like, you know what? He's talked about this show enough. I'll watch one. That'll shut him up. Unfortunately,
just one.
I gave it a shot.
I'll just take one of crack cocaine. Just one. It's gonna be fine.
It ended up being a bit like that because I inadvertently, I didn't realize like a show like this, you might want to start like during the day or, after dinner or something, not at 10:30 at night, because I went to bed at fucking 3 a.m. watching the first season of the UK version of Traitors. And then I started.
Stop. Yeah, it's so hard.
Then I got Jack. This was over the Easter weekend, so it was just a perfect weekend to just, not worry about the time and just watch the shit out of something. So I put it on the next day. Jack shit sleep because fucking Traitors. And not even halfway through the episode, my mother-in-law Joy comes into the room, and then Charity's into the room as well, and that's it.
They're hooked too, right?
Yeah, they're hooked.
You get in the general vicinity of someone who loves the Traitors, and you're gonna love the Traitors. That's just the way it works. So,
yeah, I'd say some seasons are better than others. Like we started the New Zealand one, and so far I like the contestants. No troubles there. But they're playing for 70 grand.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Come on, man. Whatever. And once you see like where they're playing the game and how it looks, you're just like, yeah, I can see why it's 70 grand. It's not even a 2-story fucking building or something like it.
Let me ask you a question. So one of my least favorite parts about the Traitors, but at the beginning, but it's good in the middle to the end, is how they reveal who's been murdered. So it's different than any other show. How they do is they all meet up for breakfast every day, right? And it's in the room that has everybody's picture on the wall. So it's like whoever comes in, they come in like a couple at a time, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's you. And so when people come in, it's like they're fucking celebrating. They're like celebrities because they didn't get murdered. But then we find out because the last person comes in, and it's usually someone everyone likes, but they're all like, well, fuck you. Fuck! Because the person they really like got murdered. And they know that. And it's so great to see people get these shit reactions. It's like, like your best baby face comes out. Here we go. I'm fired up. And everybody's like, well, fuck you. That's what it's like. And it's so funny. I love it. I love that part. But in the early days, it's in the Traitors gets better and better as they lose more people. It gets more intense. And like what I love about it is that everyone always describes it the same. Every one of the competitors, they get out of the Traitors murder, they out of the breakfast, they get out of one of the challenges, they get out of the thing where they kick everybody off, and they say, man, that was intense. And you can tell these guys have been like aged a few months.
Oh yeah.
From being in that room.
When you're in that game, you age in dog years or something like
wrestling years.
Wrestling years. You fuck yeah, definitely wrestling years. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But I mentioned it's like a murder mystery because you got to find out who the murderers are. But I also say it's like the Salem witch trials because that person's too quiet, traitor. That person's too loud, traitor. That person's too charismatic, traitor. You're the most uncharismatic person in the house, traitor. And all the traitors are just like, yeah, they're definitely the traitors, and that they call those people who are the people who are so bad at the game that they are going to get themselves banished. They're called shields from because the traitors see them as shields. They're never going to murder those people because
unless they do, and it's a mistake, and you're like, what are you fucking doing? But then it works out for them because every season, almost every season, has a traitor that is just fantastic. And it's just fucking ripping it. Not every season, but most of them have a guy, a woman, someone who is a traitor who is just fucking just playing their ass off, man. And it's like that person, you're not rooting for him. You want him to fucking lose. And so you're just waiting. When is someone going to pick him off? And what happens is they get to the banishment and everybody is like, that guy's definitely the traitor. And he's like, well, what about when this person did that? And they're like, well, you're right. Well, fuck them. They're the fucking traitor.
Every time. I've seen multiple seasons where one guy, it's not the same guy, but there's a guy in each of those. It
kind of is the same guy though. So.
No, I feel like in the UK one, I feel like that guy's a lot more empathetic, and
yeah,
I kind of hate him, but I kind of. Like,
he was like Will Ospreay Jr. is what that
guy was. Yeah. Whereas Sam from the Australian one, oh my god,
that guy fucking sucks, right?
I fucking.
But he got it in the end, and like spoilers for Traitors.
Yeah, you won't remember. Yeah, and they're all on the Peacocks for you, and for anyone else that does not have that, it's on the Paramounts. If you care enough to check it out, except for America season 2, like why isn't that on there?
Well, I'll send you a link, buddy. So we'll get you America season 2 because honestly, I think quality wise and like what is the Traitors? How are we going to get the show over? As like I think that the America show is the best one at that. Like the pure here it is, the Traitors, and like Alan Cumming is by far the best host. Like. I like Roger. Claudia can fuck off, but like, yeah, Claudia can fuck off. She's
I kind of like her because she interacts with the traitors a lot more than the other hosts do.
She calls them my traitors.
Yeah, like it shows a bit of empathy towards them. Kind of gives a shit, but I like Roger as well. Who's a bit of a Aussie TV star, so he's been in like an Aussie medical show where he was like the McDreamy type, like called the Good Doctor. And hey, you see him, you see it, right? Yeah,
there was an episode where like one of the guys on the Australian Traitors he's an actor and he gets voted off. And someone's like, man, I'm so sorry to vote you off. I've never met a great actor. And Roger's like,
I'm right here. Yeah,
it's tremendous. Like that's why I love Roger. He's
do you know who Guyton played? Guyton, all right, I can't remember his surname, but Guyton played maybe 15 years ago, or maybe 10, somewhere around then. We have a lot of, like, there's a big genre that's a big hit here, true crime. I know it's a big hit everywhere, but it's fucking huge here. Okay. And there's a whole series of books about true, well, as true as can be, I guess, books called Underbelly, which tell about the Australian criminal underworld.
I like it, yeah.
And Channel 9 decided to make a whole bunch of series about these kind of underworld figures. A couple of the seasons had to be delayed because of ongoing court cases and shit. So
that's fun.
So Guyton plays this notorious piece of human refuse named Carl Williams.
Oh.
He is passed away now. He died in prison. So
good.
No, that might be. He was bad man.
Good, he's dead. Good.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing where, like, I don't believe in the death penalty, but some people you're not going to lose sleep over, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he was bad man, but Guyton played him, and he played him fucking fantastically. So I'm surprised more people in that game didn't recognize him just like absolutely instantly. But it was only like one or two people, because that show was fucking huge in Australia.
They did recognize him, but they didn't put that in the show. So, like, it's funny. So there's a woman in one of the Australian episodes that is a female wrestler, the Australian season, but they don't say shit about it until the very end. One of the dudes votes for her is like, listen, I'm really sorry to vote for you. I'm a huge fan, but you're a traitor. Which made me laugh so hard. Because guess what? She wasn't a traitor, but because they never know who's the fucking traitor, and it's the best. But yeah, so there's a lot of shit cut out. Now listen, recently there's been one of the people that was on, I believe it was season 2, it could have been season 1 of the USA show, came out and talked about on Twitter that that there is a secret faction that you don't know about. Right? There's the traitors. There's the faithful, and there's a secret faction. And the secret faction is the people who smoke cigarettes. And that the people who smoke cigarettes plan a lot of shit out there while they're smoking cigarettes, right? And you don't know about it. And that was why she didn't win, was because of the damn smokers, because she didn't smoke.
Dude.
So there are layers to the traitors we don't know about,
All right. That same thought had passed. I'd watched so much of this show that I've had all sorts of crazy thoughts in my head, but one of them was just like, do they just get non-smokers around on this thing? Like, because
they be smoking.
Yeah, you get a bunch of whole random people, and then they're probably going to bring a few packs. You get to go outside a lot anyway, so what's the big deal? And and of course they're not going to show that on the TV because smoking's bad. Okay. You can't show people on TV, making their own decisions or anything like that. But fuck no. But you can see them drink alcohol, no problem. It's fine. Anyway,
they get wasted, right? There's a certain part. It's not every night, but there are certain parts where they just get wasted, which is good times. So
yeah. So it's funny you mentioned that. That's wow, that makes sense. Because you form cliques with the other smokers, like you just do.
You got it. And so there is like part of that, and that's one of the things is that like part of the traitors is that even when like sometimes a traitor will vote for another traitor, but they don't give away that person they're voting for is a traitor. They're just doing it as a strategic move. But I will tell you, I am watching currently the current season that's going on is New Zealand. Season 2, and I'm watching it, and there was a part where a traitor got voted off by other traitors, and this fucking traitor gave it the fuck away. She's like giving him the death stare and like winked at him right in front of everybody. And like, what's great about it though is that they don't know. So they don't know why she acted like that, and they have to speculate, meaning all the other faithful. Man, that fucking show is fantastic, Luke. It's so good.
Why would you do that? That kind of ruins the game for everyone.
Well, she's mad and she wants to fuck him over. That's why.
That's a fucking scorched earth policy right there, isn't it?
I mean, in that situation, so that's the other thing we haven't mentioned. It's very important that we get all the rules of the traders out. So sometimes when a trader's voted off, the traders themselves are offered the opportunity to seduce a faithful to their side, right? And they can become a trader. Now, here's the thing that only happens a couple times, which I don't understand, is that the whole, like, the thing that they kind of never talk about is that, like, well, if they don't say yes, you could just kill them. So they kind of have to say yes, right? There is one season where they actually make that a part of the trader thing, where they have someone in a fucking cage. They're like, listen, you want to be a trader? If not, you're dead. It's awesome. And that is really, what the like psychology should be of it. But it's awesome when they like try to seduce someone, because sometimes it just doesn't work. And it's really kind of a bad idea, because no matter if you're a faithful or a trader, you want to get rid of the other people. Why would you not want to get rid of the other people? I don't care who they are. Get rid of them.
And the thing is, you run the risk of, when you recruit someone, even if you recruit someone you trust, as soon as they find out you're a traitor, well, their heart's broken because you've lied to them the whole time, this whole entire point. Yeah.
They may be looking for vengeance, right?
And now they're pissed off at you. But there's one season of the Aussie one where someone gets recruited halfway. And this person, she was really boring as a faithful. And as soon as she became a traitor, she was like the best thing on that fucking show.
Tremendous.
Like, it just...
Tremendous.
Because she flew under the radar as a faithful, I guess. Everyone left her on her own. So they're like, we'd be smart to recruit this lady. Bow, bow.
It's great. That season's great too, because there's really, really like hot women on that season, right? That are like all voted off. And she's very attractive, but she's like, I'm just, like, she's not as attractive as them. So she kind of flew right under the radar, which was awesome, because she wouldn't have if it was like, if there weren't supermodels on the show. Because some of the shows will, kind of like have regular people and reality stars. Like, for example, the person who was dishing about the smoking faction was the person it was a lady who won Survivor twice. So everybody's like, well, fucking vote her off. She's too good. And that's the problem. Like you were talking about, it's like the witch hunt, where it's like, hey, you did this different than you did the other day. Traitor! And everybody just falls in line sometimes. So.
Yesterday, he put the toilet roll facing down. This way, it's facing the other way.
Only a traitor. That's traitor talk. How many times do you hear that on the show? Well, that's traitor talk. And something else is awesome is that obviously they have the testimonial part, right? Where they get to say whatever they want. And some people are like, I don't fucking know what's going on. And other people know exactly what's going on. And they are basically narrating the show to you. And it's like those kind of people in reality shows that are like hyper aware and know, like they know about the fourth wall. They know everything that's going on and they are nailing it. Those are my favorite people to watch. And Paul, he was like, I think that was Australia season 1. Guy named Paul that was like the best trader of all time. And like, he got fucked over because he was just too good. And it was just awesome, man. I love Paul.
Well, UK season 2 has my favorite trader. And I don't know. He was really good. There you go.
There's some good ones, man.
Yeah.
Great chip.
The winner of whoever the person, faithful or trader, won US season 1. I liked that result too.
And that's the fun part, is at the very end, right?
The best traders are the ones that have at least 2 people that are like, they have your back for life and will never vote for you. And a couple seasons have that. Like this one trader will have 1 or 2 people in their orbit, and they're like ride or die. And in every like of the interview segments, they're like, "Oh, we're ride or die with this person," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, you're so dumb," and I'm heartbroken for you.
They like cut right to the trader in his testimony, going, "Well, this guy's ride or die with me, so I'm fucking cool." Like, oh my god, you poor bastard. And here's the part we haven't mentioned also. I keep adding on to. Here's the part we haven't mentioned. It's very layered. Is that a lot of these people are really smart. So they have people on that are like, I've written 10 books about hostage negotiation. I'm the top cop in Australia. I've never lost a case. I'm the best trial lawyer ever. They look like fucking idiots on the trailer.
You know who often looks better than all these crime professionals on this show? I shit you not. It's fucking psychics.
Yeah, psychics. Ooh,
In fact, they get booted off the fucking shows faster than the friggin' cop that's been like there for 20 years. Why? Because like after a couple of nights, the traders realize, oh yeah, that guy's dumb. And then you see them do their testimonials, and you're like, man, that's because they have a highfalutin career. Like, this is old joke. Like, what do you call someone who came the bottom of their class at medical school?
A doctor.
See? Just because someone does something for 20 years, don't fucking mean they were good at it. You know? Or they scored highly. I went to Oxford, yeah, but where'd you come in your class? Are you like one of those, like, the ones that say top of my class, or are you the one who just says Oxford because you're somewhere in the middle or bottom bracket? Like, yeah. So it's a bit like that. Like, I was this crime dude for like fucking 30 years. I caught so many criminals, and I'm this kind of super cop.
They literally have like fucking wrestling promo videos of these people where they're like, and they like show them slow motion doing the thing that they are good at, right? And then them talking over it. It's like, and then the smash cut to them going like, "You're a traitor," to a faithful.
Dude,
awesome.
it's like when that guy took the police exam, he scraped in, like he barely got into the academy, and those kind of grades like maintained him throughout his career or something. Yeah. It's true, but then you get some seasons where like the traders are good at noticing who's really smart, and then they get murdered, and then all the dumb people are left, and then you're just like, oh, I feel sorry for you, but you sweet dummies. Like, I like you as people, but getting your heart ripped out of your chest, Temple of Doom style, and I'm here for it.
I think my favorite like murders are the ones where they're like, what's gonna fuck with them the most? Like, let's murder, the little person. We'll just murder them. Let's murder the lady with the poop bag. Let's murder her. It's like sometimes they'll just murder like the most sympathetic person on the show just to be a dick. And it's like, wow, but you're rooting for the traitors, kind of. Like, it depends. Like,
depends on the personality.
Yeah, we talked about the lady that was like, that kind of like fucked everyone over and ended up, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but anyway, she was a traitor that got voted in later and was very successful. She got seduced, right? And I can't say anything without spoiling.
No.
It's tremendous.
So let's spoil something else then. It is called... Actually, we've been going for a while. We can save Fallout for next time if you like. And
no.
You want to talk Fallout?
Yes.
All right. So I'm a huge nerd for
now thing, right?
Certain franchises. One of the big ones is Fallout. I've been a huge fan for fucking... I'm not going to say... I'm not going to lie and say, I remember playing the originals in the late 90s. Nah, fucking... I started with Fallout 3 like everybody else did. And... really liked that game, then played New Vegas, and after about 4 or 5 attempts, just fell in love with it. And now it's true, because it looked the same, it played very much the same, but it was made by completely different people with a different tone and everything. And it took me a few goes, but now I play New Vegas at least once a year. And I find something different in it every time, probably because I'm playing it a different way, or just interacting with characters differently, all that kind of stuff, different factions. It's cool. It's so cool, Mr. Guy, that if you recruit a guy named Boone, he tells you straight up, if you go anywhere near Caesar's Legion, I'm just going to start blasting, like indiscriminately blasting. So know never to take him anywhere near those areas if you take him with you, unless you want to fucking take him out. However, in Fallout 4, I remember taking Paladin Dance to the railroad and nobody said a goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair. I knew you were going with that, and that's a fair criticism.
However, I still
Fallout
like
4
Fallout
rules,
4.
too.
It's still a good game.
It's
So-
like people bitch about the story of Fallout 4, and I think the story is tremendous no matter which angle you look at it from. And that's the fun part, is that it's not just 4, there's several angles to look at it from. And
Yeah.
every character that you meet in the game is showing you that. Like their view of this crazy world that everybody lives in. And that I'm sure that's also the case in New Vegas. I just need more shooting, less talking.
Yeah, I see it. There are places where you can get your shoot on, but yeah, you got to build yourself up a little bit. But it is definitely more of a talk, make decisions.
You're the best at criticism, by the way. I just want to let you know you're the best at criticism. You're like, that opinion is shit, and then the way you express it's very healthy. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I like the game too, so I'm not going to shit on your enjoyment of the game. It's not like I hate the game and think you're insane for liking it as much as you do. Like I like it too.
I thought
I just like New Vegas more.
I was talking about my opinion on New Vegas. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, hey, it took me a few goes. Get in the right mood where you want something a bit more story based, and it's got you back.
I try.
But speaking, I guess this. I just want to talk about New Vegas, didn't I?
Yeah, but, and we were talking about the Fallout show.
Yeah, so we've both seen the whole show now, yes?
Yes.
All right, so if you're watching or listening up to this point, we're going to spoil Fallout because I can't hold it in. Games and fucking TV shows, so screw you guys. We're doing it. We want to talk about it. I loved it, and I adored it. What happened was I thought this was just going to be a weekly show because why would you release it all at the same time?
I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah. So I watched I was like, Charity Fallout's out. She works from home a lot of the time doing PhD and stuff, and she's like, all right, I'm on my lunch break. It's a bit naughty, but fuck it, because she knows I love Fallout, and she's played Fallout with me. New Vegas. What happened is I'll control it. And I'm like, all right, we're doing the talkie talk. You make the decisions. And it was really interesting to see what choices she'd make and all that kind of stuff. It was really cool. So she likes the aesthetic and all that kind of stuff. So we watched the first episode. It was over an hour, so I had to apologize to Charity because it was even more naughty. But and I'm like, okay, well, that's only once a week. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Anyway, towards the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, Charity! What? It's all out. What is Fallout? All of it, all 8 episodes. And then we just, after dinner, we sat down and watched the entire fucking thing pretty much in one go.
All Out Fallout 2022. Just a few hours south of Melbourne. I love it.
We, all right, so as a lover of the games and the lore, I thought the show nailed it. And you can, if you go online, you could probably see, the dates don't exactly line up, or all that kind of shit.
Now.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. They nailed the humor, they nailed the violence, they nailed the aesthetic and the tone. Oh, they got a couple of dates wrong. Oh my God. It's like being mad they got that 1% wrong out of the fucking 98 or 99% they got right. Right? It's like, that's nitpicking, and maybe I'm like that with Star Wars. But I'm not. But it turns out I'm not quite like that with Fallout. Because it's more of a role play game. It's like, I don't know. It's different people to different things, isn't it? Yeah.
I thought that this made you feel like you played the game, right?
Yeah.
There were so many things about it that did that. Like, for example, Walter Goggins, who we both love from other things, he's tremendous, right? Well, he crushes it as this ghoul character, and like many times in the game, he uses VATS. I know he doesn't have he's not wearing a Pip-Boy or whatever.
But it's the slow-mo kill cam,
he does. He uses VATS, and it's great. And that kind of shit's amazing. All the sets were incredible. And the way, like, one of the things that they were able to capture that I think is so fun, it's like Red Dead Redemption, the original one. You know, it's like this weird like world where everything's kind of a joke a little bit, so it can be silly and you can move on from that, no problem. Like a dude can get like a monster with fingers for teeth can attack you, and like 5 minutes later you're talking about something else, right? Like that can happen in the Fallout universe because it's ridiculous. So it's like a great platform for any kind of story, and I thought the stories they told were cool and were really important and about the Fallout world and why it is the way it is. So, which I love that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I loved it too. I loved it. I adored it. And Lucy is pretty much like the video game character. Kind of, you know, they even say when she's doing this little montage where she shows like I've got this skill, this skill, this skill.
Yeah.
It's like the special system where you level up. There's all kinds of fun, silly little Easter eggs that a lot of fans will notice, like bobbleheads and just little background things and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like my favorite nods were probably because it's set in California or the West Coast. That's where New Vegas is set, and the first two games, and the lore of those is kind of my favorite. So I just loved seeing Mr. House. We did say we were spoiling it. You see the head of Big Mountain, and the head of Big Mountain is from the New Vegas DLC called Old World Blues, which is the most cartoony, sciencey thing of all time. It borderlines on Futurama-esque. It's like,
I'm in.
You know how Fallout is the 50s sci-fi aesthetic? Old World Blues is the B-movie sci-fi extravaganza. Giant scorpion robots, like mad scientists in brains. Crazy, silly experiments.
They have one guy in like a guy's whose head is just in a jar, but he's alive in Fallout 4, which is very Futurama. So it's a nod to that shit.
Yeah. So, and I get to see one of my favorite actors of all time, Kyle MacLachlan in Fallout. So
he was kind of lame.
His character's
he might have been the worst part of it, and I loved it.
But you're supposed to hate him too, so
right? No, it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
What about Matt Berry showing up?
Oh my god, fucking so cool!
He's the voice of Codsworth. How cool is that, man? That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I love it too. Just also little things like when the Pip-Boy picks up radiation, it makes the radiation sound.
Yeah.
The
sounds they got right, just period. Just absolutely period. There's so many of the sounds that they just got right. And the rad stuff is obvious and they nailed it.
They make Pip-Boys work. By the way, dude, Michael Rappaport.
Yeah, why? Just to be a prick. That's great.
Dude, as soon as that mask, Titus's mask, T-50, whatever the fuck, Brotherhood of Steel helmet came off, and it was Michael Rappaport. I was like, oh my god, Andy's going to mark out as much as I am right now.
I like him. He's funny.
Yeah, I like him too. So, and he just plays just a gigantic fucking asshole. He does one of my favorite video game moments in the whole show. There's my two favorites. One of them is him seeing a Yao Guai, which is this giant fucking bear-like prick. And he has the same reaction I might have if I'm lower leveled and there's a Deathclaw or some big monster there. Run away and go, fuck.
Right.
Fuck. And the other one is when the ghoul is dragging Lucy away. He's like, thou shalt get sidetracked with bullshit every 10 minutes.
Not agree. Because they're right there. They have to do this thing. But all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I gotta have to do this other thing so I can do this thing. And tremendous. That was great.
They managed to make it episodic like a TV show, but also make it video gamey, and it kind of works. And I feel bad for Halo fans that they're not having the same kind of reaction to their show that I'm having to this show, because I'm only a casual with Halo, but Fallout, I fucking adore it. And Oh, I'm so happy that that's great. I even like a lot of the pre-war stuff. Like
Yeah,
oh,
I
sorry,
would.
I saw an interview with Walton Goggins, right? And he goes, "You know what's wild? In the same year, Chris Nolan does a movie about the creation of the bomb. His brother Jonathan Nolan does a TV show about dropping the bombs." So I thought that was pretty nifty as well. So yeah, it was awesomely directed. It had the humor. I laughed at my favorite joke. You're going to get to talk in a minute. I'm sorry, I'm gushing.
No,
my favorite
please.
joke is when Maximus, and I can't remember his scribe, his buddy.
Yeah, that
but
guy
he's from
was great,
Superstore.
right?
Oh, but they find a decapitated body, and they're like, "I think this is the guy we've been looking for." Hey, take the picture out. And so they take a sketch of the guy's head and he holds it up over the body. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's him, all right." And I'm just fucking laughing. I have tears in my eyes. I'm laughing, but I also found it like some scenes were like quite intense. Like I knew there was a build up because you see the tattoos at the start in episode 1 of the guys in the vaults, and you know something.
Oh yeah, they're fucking raiders. It's awesome.
But the build up to it was kind of intense, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" It's got that black humor and violence. And not even just holding the picture above the headless corpse. Oh yeah, that's him, all right.
How many moments like that were there though? There was like so many.
Fred Armisen.
Most of them landed. Yeah, Fred Armisen shows up. I
forgot. He runs a radio station that plays nothing but shitty violin music. And it turns out that surrounding his little place where he plays the shitty violin music are all these traps from people who have tried to kill him for playing this shitty violin music. Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
That's great.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's some like obvious shit too where like the dude, she shows up at this guy's house and he's like, "Yeah, there's a town over there." And she's like, "You ever been there?" And he's like, "Nah, man." It's just always the way, one of these games, you come up upon someone who lives very near the town, but then they talk about how they've never been to the town. It's like right over there,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So it doesn't just hit with me to varying degrees. I feel like all the characters are successful. Maximus, Lucy, and the Ghoul. I feel like they're all a hit with me and they're all completely different. Like Maximus just completely falls upwards the entire time.
Right. But, and you could see what's happening, right? He's going to be an asshole the next time we see him. They all are. They all are.
Have you seen? Geez, I wonder how Titus became Titus.
Right.
We might be seeing that right now, but they're all compelling. Even if there's a character you don't like, you still want to watch them because I feel like that with Maximus sometimes. I'm like, come on, man. But still, I'm like, I still want to see what he does next.
He had a couple cringe moments, but I think that was like trying to cater to some audience that wasn't here to watch this. But, I don't know.
What about you, man? What by the way, the last shot, that's the city of New Vegas. And,
he's running towards New Vegas in power armor with no helmet on. It's like, man,
that's something I've done in games. It's very video games. Because sometimes, like, you can play in New Vegas this character that has +1 or 2 perception if they're wearing glasses, but you can't wear glasses and a helmet.
Right.
And if you don't wear glasses, you lose 1 perception. So it's like it's the trade-off. So you can do silly little perks like that. But so that's very Fallout. And him running away to New Vegas like a bitch, just the way Benny does at the start of New Vegas. I'm like, oh my god. Apparently,
it's almost like the folks that made this running back to the fans of New Vegas because
maybe
I thought something this was really good and successful. My hot take about this is that it was really good at making Fallout 4 fans because I'm just a Fallout 4 fan.
Yeah,
I started playing that. I love that. I don't know about the other. I remember playing some Fallout 3 with a buddy. Like he played it and I was like, it's a shooter. Cool. I didn't know anything else about it. So most of my experiences with Fallout 4, I feel like that it made me very happy as that kind of fan, and it made me interested in the other games. And if you're a New Vegas fan, which it seems like that's the line, right? New Vegas fans. And over here is the Fallout 3 fans that are like, I don't care, but
Tell you what,
right? That's the deal. So I kind of want to like it all though, and I thought the show kind of did a good job at pleasing everyone. I know that's not what we should be like talking about when we talk about a TV show, but
it's not that gratuitous though. It does tell its own story, but I feel like Fallout 4 fans will be happy. I feel like 3 fans are definitely going to be happy, and
one fan will be happy. There's like shit from the very first game.
Dude, that finger monster is from fucking Fallout 76, the one nobody likes.
Wow.
So there's references to all of them. By the way, the Brotherhood do reference the Commonwealth early on as well, so you might have heard that.
Preston Garvey over there.
Oh my god, let me just mark that on your map. Fuck yeah! That's all right. If you play enough New Vegas, you'll probably get sick of the sentence like, patrolling the Mojave makes me wish for a nuclear winter.
There was a couple references to
Ave, True to Kaiser.
Too. There was a couple references to Radiant Quest in the show, and I can't remember them, but they were pretty fun.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
They left things on the table as well. So it's like seeing a absolute classic match in New Japan, but also having that thought in the back of your mind, man, that was amazing. But they have like a lot more. Because
But here's something new they introduced in the show that I really enjoyed is that we don't really know how being a ghoul works. We don't know like how, if you go feral, if you don't, if there's any reason why that is, if there's a time limit, we don't know anything about that. So we learned a lot about that. And the fact there's a tremendous scene where Walter Goggins kind of has Lucy as his slave, I guess, and he brings her into this room. They have tracked down, which I don't know, man. I really thought that this was cool because it shows that Walter Goggins has a culture with other ghouls, and he knows them, and they've been supporting each other, right? But he's not there to support him this time. He's there to steal his shit, to try to not be a ghoul, because apparently if they inject themselves in, which is the stuff that we see in the IVs when Walter Goggins is like busted out of his coffin, which is a whole weird thing, and I really want to know how that happened. But anyway, that whole thing introducing this like culture, and they did it a couple times where we had a scene where we have a ghoul turning into a ghoul, like a feral ghoul, and it's sad, and it's like, oh no, because you never get to see people turn into zombies in a sympathetic way, right? I mean, it does happen. A little girl turns into a zombie in Walking Dead. It's like, oh fuck, that sucks, but oh shit, right? Whereas in this case, it's the same, but it's, man, they really got me with the. I mean, they're turning the ghouls baby faces. Is what I'm saying.
Look, if you want more ghoul stuff, there is a whole underworld in Fallout 3 in the Capital Wasteland, and it still doesn't even go into the detail like the show does, but you get kind of like that maybe a similar glimpse of some ghoul culture.
Okay.
But it's not a bad little place to visit, and you can get Charon there, who's one of the coolest companions in the game.
Well,
you can get and there's a ghoul. By the way, the ghoul companion you can get in New Vegas, it's Danny Trejo. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, Machete.
You get
to get him, you have to kill a super mutant voiced by Mark Hamill. So that's also pretty awesome.
Well, that's interesting because like there are some voice actors on that show, but I did want to kind of talk to you a little bit about the voice actors on Clerks, the cartoon, right? Because there are some fucking bonkers voice actors. The first voice you hear on Clerks, the cartoon, is Brian Posehn, who has me blocked on Twitter, by the way, and I have no idea why. I can't remember, but
maybe he likes wrestling and Goto or something.
So
it's always Goto.
It's always Goto. And like Gwyneth Paltrow is a voice. Kevin McDonald from the Kids in the Hall, and Michael McKean. But one of my favorite voice actors on the show is Gilbert Gottfried, who shows up for no apparent reason sometimes. There's like a guy who's just going to walk across the street and just be like, hey, how you doing? And he'll walk up and it's like, hey, how you doing? And it's fucking Gilbert Gottfried.
It sucks he's gone, man. I love him.
He was tremendous.
I remember him ever since I was a child watching Problem Child 2, and Problem Child 3.
Wow. Man, who is the problem child?
He was like the teacher or something like that of the problem child.
Okay, fair
Or the
enough.
principal. No, I think he was more like the principal because he's like,
He's tremendous.
I haven't thought about those movies in decades.
Wow. Might have to go back and watch The Problem Child. Like, it's, gosh, I can't remember the main dude who's in it, but he's so funny.
No, I can't remember either.
He's a favorite of mine.
Oh, should we just take a moment to look up Problem Child?
I'm working on it.
Oh my god, you do that. Well, I mentioned, like, it's amazing to me, like
John Ritter.
John Ritter. Oh
yeah, John Ritter's awesome, man. He's in Clifford.
He's in that.
He's tremendous.
He died young, poor guy.
He did.
But
universally loved.
Yeah, he'd turn up everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Yeah, except the Clerks cartoon. Unless he did. I know Judge Reinhold's in it.
He was. Man, how funny is it that you see this whole thing where it's like him and, Axel Foley are fucking sticking bananas up everybody's tailpipes and they're marking out. They can't stop laughing. And it's his wife waking him up. It's Judge Reinhold. She's like, "Are you having the dream again?" He's like, "Yeah." It's tremendous. That episode is awesome.
Oh, that's the Bears driving one, I'm pretty sure.
It is.
But yeah. So I'm not surprised by the caliber of the voice cast. It was kind of cool to do a edgy cartoon back then, and Kevin Smith had a bit of pull back then. He had a few hit movies under his belt, or a few cult hits, and he was getting a bit of buzz and all that. So he was friends with all these people. So he was. Never mind. I just remembered who his production company was. Don't
worry. Guess who plays Leonardo?
It's
Alec Baldwin.
It's the greatest actor of all time.
I love that he like that's my favorite character in the show is Leonardo. That guy is amazing.
I'm Randall, ride or die.
Also, Bryan Cranston in that show, right? We also have Charles Barkley playing himself, and they do like a scene from like one of the Godfather movies where a bunch of like gangsters just show up and beat some dude up, and they do the scene with Charles Barkley because Jay and Silent Bob do the Science Says segments, not you, Charles Barkley.
That's right, and I'm glad you had to do that to illustrate your point. Yeah,
that's for emphasis. Yes.
Yeah, so I might have had the VCR going as we started chatting this morning, so that's about as much as I've rewatched at the moment. But you did mention something. We don't have to talk in depth about it because you don't have to say any of those kind of jokes or anything like that. But you were telling me, by the way, there's 6 episodes, so 4 episodes have never been seen before. So,
right.
Holy shit. They fucking canceled this fucker after 2 episodes. Yeah. God damn.
Dude, it's fair enough. I mean, the first 2 episodes don't include the Pharaoh episode. Don't include the Judge Reinhold episode. So
really? What about the pyramids and the fucking...
It's fair enough.
Huh? Well, fair enough. So you don't think it holds up all that well?
No, I love it.
You did say there was a lot of jokes.
It's got some problems. It does not hold up to today's lens. It's got some problems. That I just am not eloquent enough to discuss, honestly. But it's got some issues, and there's some jokes that are like I could say there's some straight up racist jokes. I could say that, right? There's some ableist jokes, and there's a lot of like homophobic jokes. But other than that, it's very good.
Clerks can be a little. The original movie can be a little rough in that department as well. There are a couple of F words and things that haven't aged it too great.
I feel like that in the like Clerks universe, it's handled much differently because like Randall can be in love with Dante, but in the Clerks cartoon, Randall can't be in love with Dante. So it kind of is like, There's my breakdown.
Oh no!
That's
See,
all I
I'm
got to
Randall,
say about
ride or die, and now you've just intimated that Randall might be the bearer of many a bad.
Well, it's
joke.
okay in the movies because he loves Dante, like
Yeah.
legitimately loves him. Like that's like it's not a platonic love between them, right?
Did you watched number 3, right?
I did, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even remember it. I don't want to. So
I understand that too. Like I like it, but it kind of killed Clerks 2 for me, and I kind of liked that movie. I don't care what anyone says. I do.
like that one either.
Yeah. The original's the best though.
It's awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
you got any balls over there? Yeah, the biggest pair you ever seen. You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's what I want. So I want that and some bullshit about Star Wars in black and white. You know, and I think that's something that this cartoon did not deliver. And I think a lot of people noticed that. So
no, but having a bit of a squiz of it this morning, I was already laughing. I was already having a good chuckle. I haven't heard any of the that poorly made jokes yet, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so it's one of the few videos I've kept. For some reason, I'm in my garage today. By the way, everyone, I've managed to turn it into.
I love the garage. It's awesome.
Yeah. All right, I might record it more often. But it turned into a room that was just full of boxes right up here, and now I've got like a couple TVs set up. I've got like my PlayStation and my Xbox, and I've got a VCR over there. But right behind where we are, right where you are, is I've unpacked all my. Sorry, yeah, I've been trying my best to keep it there. I've been my head out of the way of the light.
You're projecting because I was not saying anything. I was holding my hand up to just kind of wave at you because you were saying something about waving, and I was like, I can do that. My brain can function that well.
But I didn't realize how many fucking videotapes I had.
Yes. So, tell me about some of them.
All right. I only have 2 from like my younger days, and that is like an old Doctor Who story called The Invasion, signed by one of the people in it, and the Clerks one, right? But you would have seen this in many of my movie review videos. Hey, this is actually a pretty decent space for movie reviews, isn't it?
I think it's time to.
I haven't had that for a while. That's why I haven't done them. I haven't had like a proper space.
Look at this. The background, I kind of dig the background, man. You need like one neon light in the back. That's it. You know, maybe
there's
a light
a fucking
behind
window
the
there, and I've got to get a little curtain.
But I kind of like that, you know?
Yeah.
You could like move your head to emphasize your point, like Ric Flair, just the pairs behind your head, or Shinsuke Nakamura, or a fucking blinding light. You know what I mean? Could be one of those things.
By the light. But yeah, all right, I can make it work. I can actually. I didn't know the internet extended this far out, so it does, and it has, and maybe I can just.
And it will.
Yeah. So I got a couple. I've got almost a complete set of Red Dwarf on VCR. On VCR, on video, VHS. I got it like about 3 weeks ago at some kind of like secondhand store, and I am only missing one tape from having a complete whatever they released on VHS. Yeah.
So the VCR thing is kind of a new thing, right?
I've had the VCR actually for a while, but I didn't always have.
Now we're buying Red Dwarf, right?
Yeah, I did. Which I already have on DVD, but I guess it's the nostalgia of me picking these up at the video store and all that kind of stuff.
That's tremendous.
I got like 4 Blake 7 tapes, even though I've got like all of that on DVD. But I just remember picking up the artwork at the video store and poring over them. And I got The Prisoner, this old 60s.
Okay, I was literally just about to ask you, tell me about The Prisoner, but don't spoil anything because I'm probably going to watch it. I hear it's fucking like this one season of just tremendousness, and that's it. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. It's got Patrick McGowan. He is not only the main star, he directs a lot of the episodes.
Is Roger from The Traitors in it?
No. He directs a lot of episodes. He writes a lot of the episodes. He also created the series.
Okay.
He was a big star back in the 60s. And put it this way, they asked him to play Bond first, and he said, nah, he's too sexist, and said no to playing James Bond.
Okay.
But he was, you might know him from a show from the 60s or late 50s, early 60s called Secret Agent or Danger Man. You might know the theme tune to that song. Secret Agent Man. That's it. That's him. So ITV or whatever the channel was back at the time said, hey, you can make whatever you want. Let's go.
Okay.
And he made The Prisoner, and I love it. It is amazing.
Why is it awesome?
Well, some of the things that make it interesting is, apart from maybe the first episode and the last two episodes, you can watch anything in the middle in any order, which can often, it feels like a video game, like a role-play game in that respect. Like, all right, you've got to have the last two because one leads into the other. So the last two are the last two, but the first one is the first one, and everything in the middle. The production, these aired at a weird time, out of order, except for the first one and the last.
Like Firefly or some shit.
Yeah, they aired them out of order, so that's weird. There's several different releases of the series which release them in different orders. I have my own theory as to the fucking order of the series. Okay. So yeah, but then for shits and gigs, you can just mix it up and do it this way around and maybe get a different experience. So this guy, you never find out his name. He is number 6.
17 episodes, huh?
Yep. He goes into his spy job, slams his fist down, hands his resignation in, and he's like, fuck you. And he storms out. And he goes home. And then his home is gassed, and he wakes up in a replica of his bedroom or his home, but it's no longer in England. It's at a mysterious place called the Village.
Okay.
And there's no escape from the Village.
Oh.
So whilst there's
that's why he's the prisoner.
So yeah. So whilst there is no escape from the Village, why he's there is also they want to know what he knows. So it is like a cat and mouse, like without spoiling anything. Like some episodes will be more about breaking him, and other episodes will be more about him trying to escape. And then some episodes are like both.
Okay.
And then some episodes are just drug-fueled trips into surrealism, and then others are just straight up fucking spy thrillers, that kind of shit. Okay. And all that kind of stuff. They do a lot in 17 episodes. I think for you either adore the last episode or will fucking hate it.
I like most stuff.
I know.
Like I've kind of become a softie where I'm just like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like it, you know. So I don't hate it.
So if you get a copy of The Prisoner,
unless it's Goto.
Shut up. So if you do get a copy of the complete series,
I got it.
First one's first, the last two are last, and don't worry so much. If you want, I can give you my order. I can probably not rattle it off from scratch, but I could probably send it to you.
You could message it to me later.
Yeah,
and I'd be happy to look at that and consider it, or just go with the website that I will watch it on.
Nice.
You know? Yeah, but yeah, that's easy. So I've always heard that it's very like Twin Peaks, and I love Twin Peaks, and so I'm all about the Twin Peaks.
That's why So be prepared for some weirdness, especially as the show progresses, depending on the order. Okay. Now, so you've got what's the second episode they list there?
It is called the episode that is called. I promise. I'm about to tell you. It's called Arrival. He's arriving.
That's the first episode.
Well, that would be 1. Correct.
Yeah. What's 2?
The Chimes of Big Ben.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch that until about 4. I would watch maybe.
Okay, so you're gonna need to send me the.
I'd watch maybe Checkmate second, or Free for All second. Maybe Free for All.
So send me the order, and I will watch it. I will watch it as you dictate. This is what I was trying to spit out.
I'm such a nerd that I noticed straight away that I don't have the complete series on VHS, but I have Well, I guess most of it now. But I just looked, there's 2 episodes on each tape, and I already know that, yeah, that's a different order to the DVD set I've got.
Oh my God. Can you fucking believe it? They fuck with the prisoner again. You know? The poor guy is stuck in this place and they're fucking with him. You know?
Yeah.
I wonder if Suncoast Theaters had copies of the prisoner back in the day, $100 each, kid. You know, something
Maybe.
like that. Bet you happened. They'd be all fucking out of order. You best believe.
Yeah, bootleg prisoner tapes. But yeah, if it's also the theme tune is done by the same guy who did Man in a Suitcase and Doctor Who, that little show Doctor Who. Ron Grainer. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
It's 60s as fuck. It's pretty good.
I hear you like that. So
allegedly. Oh my God. That was a pretty lively NetherRealm. I'm really had a cup of coffee.
I know.
Nice and baked. Pretty chatty.
We talked about the Traders. We talked about Fallout. We talked about Clerks. We talked about Lord Crew. That was my agenda for the evening. But I mean,
I'm excited for you to watch The Prisoner now.
Yeah, I'll check it out. It you know, I'm not gonna start watching it tonight, but I'll watch it like tomorrow or something. You know, there's some sports on. Kind of like digging the sports lately. NBA playoffs about to start. Celtics gonna win a championship. So, you know, kind of want to watch that. The Reds are out here losing games to good teams, beating the bad teams. They are fucking average, and it's good times, man. So, some good shit going on in Cincinnati over here.
Stuck in the middle with them.
You know, I think I'm going to cut every one of their ears off, too.
Yes, I get it. Oh my God. You can't, like, even if you just hear that song at the supermarket or whatever, just in passing, your brain will be like, ew, cut off. Yes.
It's awesome. So I had a big argument with a friend about that. So, like, to me, I was like, well, that's Steelers Wheel. And a buddy of mine was like, listen, that's Bob Dylan. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's Steelers Wheel. Well, Bob Dylan was the singer for Steelers Wheel. So
no, that's wrong too.
Oh, is it? I don't think that's right.
Is Bob Dylan singing? That's Bob Dylan singing Stuck in the Middle of You?
Pretty sure.
But it is Steelers Wheel. I
could be wrong. You should internet me to find out. But it was with a dishwasher that had the argument. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm pretty sure Steelers Wheel was like a side project for Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Well, I don't see him on the cover. It's Jerry Rafferty.
You're Jerry Rafferty.
Yeah. Do you know who Jerry Rafferty is?
No.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You know that song?
I do not.
You don't know Baker Street?
Bacon Street. Oh,
Baker Street.
Yeah,
man.
I got you. Okay. There was
I didn't know the guy from Baker Street did Stuck in the Middle with You. That's just blown my mind, everybody. That's good.
Okay, so he was right and I was wrong, and that was the story I was trying to tell.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I love Bob Dylan, so
either way, that song is fantastic, and so is Baker Street. So there is a wrestler that is in the area that is called the Baker, and he'll show up with a fucking donut. He'll give it to a fan, right? You know, he is the guy that showed up at like a Halloween show as the Underbaker. Right?
Nice.
And guess what he comes out to is
Baker
Street. And when we first saw him, we couldn't think of what the name of the song was, right? So we picked a different song that had street in the title that has saxophone, and the guy messaged us and was like, well, you know, that is not right at all. Like, it's Baker Street. And so I'll never forget that song because of that.
When we head down Baker Street. Fuck. Get off with the singing. Dun, 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 dun. That's all I want to hear.
You know what song I've been into lately, and if you ever get the chance to watch the music video, is good times, is Private Eyes by Hall & Oates, right? This song is fantastic song, right?
Watching the things you do.
You got to watch the video. It's like a fisheye lens. And you got the main dude singing, right? And he's all up in the camera. And then he stands out of the way. And when they sing the chorus, it's the guy with the curly hair, and he gets all up in the camera and sings the Private Eyes part and makes goofy ass faces, and it is good times, dude. It is funny as hell.
Nice. I'm still obsessed with Violator by Depeche Mode, so that's me still,
dude. That's good shit too.
And I see the thing about Spotify is you listen to an album and you won't know what the last fucking song is because you don't realize you're listening to some super deluxe version. So I was like, so it ends with this fucking amazing song called Clean. But there's a song after that called Dangerous, and I love this song. I'm like, oh my God, have they played this live? No, they haven't. And apparently it's known to be their greatest B-side ever, and they've never played it live. And I'm like,
nice.
Motherfuckers, okay. I'm upset. Dangerous, yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, but like to me, Duran Duran, you know, any of those kind of bands, they're always like better studio bands, right?
Nah, well, I don't know about Duran Duran, but Depeche Mode. I've never seen them live because I haven't toured Australia in over 30 years. So, you know, think
right.
Before Violator came out.
I don't know. Like to me, you know, your impersonal genius. Jesus sounds great as like a studio song. I don't know how awesome it would be live to have a dude going boom on the keyboard and being like, "Yeah, you see me hitting the arpeggiator on the keyboard? Yeah." You know, it just doesn't seem as fun.
But then you get, then you get Gore, Mr. Gore going.
That is pretty cool. You're right.
I do have a look at a couple of their songs. They're live. Ones you like, they'll do them good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll quit fucking.
I'm absolutely jealous of people who have seen them live because they haven't been to Australia in my sister's lifetime. She's 30, so yeah. Man, I'm 41. Fuck, I'm old. What?
Yeah, why are we out everybody?
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I'm not telling you how old I am.
When you find out Moxley's older than you, younger than you are, but he looks like this
way younger than me.
It's
upsetting how much younger he is than me. Like I get upset about it all the time. I think about it constantly.
Wow, that's bringing us down. All right. Wow, we've talked a lot, and I'm wondering if unless there's anything. Oh, here we go.
Wait, how was it? Was it? Oh, hold on.
Yeah, no, he nailed this pre-show.
Oh fuck! I don't remember the rest. Fuck! I had the Just Five Guys theme nailed.
Here is Just Five Guys.
I can't do it anymore. Not right now.
Just Five Guys.
Ren Ayabi is the sixth guy, and he's really tall.
You want, dude? I want him in New Japan, of course.
He was my original, just like fifth guy. I told you.
Yeah.
Fucking STD coming in as just fifth guy. I think they did pretty good with the fifth guy.
I feel like New Japan's pretty loaded about now. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. They're fine, and I feel like that if they need to bring in more people, they will.
They got their own Ren Ayabe. His name is Oscar Loeb.
Oh man, Oscar Loeb out there just wrestling in Germany, crushing it. I mean, how happy has he got to be right now? He's over.
What a cute story though. Usually young lions are like, "I'm gonna fuck you up." No, I'm gonna fuck you up. These two, yeah, we're fucking bros. Mind you, I didn't see Show and Yo's Young Lion journey because that happened before.
Oh yeah, I did.
I saw them return, but I didn't see them as Young Lions, so I missed that. So were they tag bros then, or was that more?
They tagged a lot as Young Lions. It developed in like it's like the Jay White, David Finlay thing, but
right.
They were Young Lions. They became a tag team. I saw them in ROH in Ohio as the
Tempura boys?
Yeah. That supposedly Liger gave that name, but the Tempura boys, and they wrestled a match. They sure did. And I saw them take bumps. And I saw them do moves.
Yes, you did. Well, they were developing. They're pretty decent
They
now.
were doing the moves. They were taking the bumps. I mean, what else?
I mean,
wrong?
Yo took his pec popping training so seriously. He pecked his shoulder out. But fuck, man,
that sucks.
No,
right?
this fucking triangle just like popped out.
So-
like
Also, I mean, here's an opportunity to talk about the thing where a wrestler that maybe you're not a huge fan of gets injured and you see it. Suddenly, mega baby face, right? I mean, like immediately you're like, well, I didn't like that guy before, but now I kind of want him to win every match. I'm feeling bad for him. I hope his family's okay.
Look, I don't want you to win the best of the Super Juniors.
Awesome.
I wanted you to be in it. Sure.
Right. You were like last year.
Look,
you
I
wish
can't
Yo
fucking stand
didn't
Roman
exist.
Reigns, but I do not want him to die of cancer or anything like that. I'm not a fucking monster. Mind you, he's the one wrestler that's never turned face to me. I just don't like him. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but fuck Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, well, I figured you'd be bringing up Okada if you're digging up old dead horses.
Oh, yeah.
Ren Ayabi knew Okada.
At least you get to miss Okada.
Yeah, because he's gone.
No one's ever really gone. Some stupid Disney Star Wars line. Yeah. Got sidetracked. But I've kind of shot my bolt unless you want to talk like a million hours about Doctor Who, which I know you do not. But I'm excited for you to watch The Prisoner. Oh my god. That is so cool.
I've heard about it. I've heard about it. So, I wish that you do me a favor. Watch a little show called Andor. No, just kidding. But you should watch Andor. But I was just gonna say, Patriot. Listen out there. We're talking about TV. There's a show out there called Patriot. You look at it, you're like, I don't want to watch this. Watch it. It's fucking insane. It's so good. And it's just a spy show.
Charity liked the trailer. It's on our radar.
Manipulation, and it's a big deal. It's fucking awesome. I might watch it again tonight.
We've just been too deep. Hey, you got The Prisoner once, mother. Right. Anyway. But yes, wow. You can make music that Fred Armisen will play in Fallout. Oh my god, I love the soundtrack as well. And that's a Bethesda thing. People can I mean, I know it's in the first game, like one of the old-timey songs, but there's only one old-timey song in Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. In the first two, but in Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4, there's fucking heaps. And they cherry-pick songs from all three of those games.
Heaps on heaps in Fallout 4.
Yeah, heaps. Yeah. There you go. And bomb baby.
Hey, look, there's Luke. He's about to play the harmonica.
In Fallout, we trust all of it.